Hello everyone, this is Paul the Oak Knight, where I am pleased to report in full uniform the completion of the completion of the second level of my game table, which will bring the game table portion of my project to a close. If you remember the first video I put out on what I was going to accomplish with a new and improved game table, I set out a few different goals. One of which was to build on top of my existing conference room table, which was kind of a Circus Maximus racetrack sort of shape, 8 feet long, 4 feet wide, but it had sweeping curves on the corners that cut off a lot of useful area for the game table. So I decided to build a well on top of that that would allow me to have much more surface area to use and much more useful surface area without those curves that were all around the ends. And I completed that last fall. But at the same time, I said I wanted to have a second level on the table that would allow me to have a game going underneath and still have something I could put on top. So, for example, when I have a buddy coming over, I will no longer have to tear down anything I was doing on the primary table, and I can just slap these on the table, the second level, and have a game session with a buddy, and then take it all down and go back to what I was doing. Same thing true for YouTube videos. I would always be having to interrupt something that I was doing just for fun with something that I wanted to do for YouTube, and that got to be an annoyance after a period of time. So I decided that putting a second level on the game table would alleviate both of those issues. And now I've got it. Uh, Safety first. Let me let me talk about what I've done here. I made 5 panels that just rest right on top of the armrests of the table. The panels are basically 3/4 inch plywood with a countertop, just like you'd have in your kitchen, that laminated on top. And I have gone ahead and used the same kind of wood that I used in the primary table. The a.k.a. mahogany is what you see, the lighter wood. And then just around the perimeter of the table, you see my secondary wood, which is American walnut. So I'm just repeating the format that I used in the bottom part of the table and with the top with the materials that I selected. So right now there's nothing holding this top on other than gravity, and I did that on purpose. I'm going to try it the simple first. If it turns out the table likes to float, then I have many options I could use to make it less susceptible to that. But for right now, so what I've tried so far, it has been solid. It has not been moving around as I've tried various games on top, and I'm satisfied with it. And here you can get a little bit better view of what I did. Again, here's the countertop material, just the same kind of material you would use in a kitchen, laid on top of 3/4 inch plywood. And here's my sapele. On the corners, I opted for miter joinery, so it's like a picture frame. And I used a simpler form of joinery when you look at the other corners. I thought that would be fine. I learned a lot in this project. I got to be pretty good at doing fine cuts to get all these pieces of wood to fit together with a minimum of gaps in between. My compass miter gauge with the fine tuning adjustment was put to good use on this project. And there you can see the spline on the right hand side. That's using the same kind of mahogany, or excuse me, that's using the same kind of walnut with the stain that I used on the countertop to kind of echo the look and appearance of the countertop. Now that I've got this done, I'm going to go ahead and make a cart to put this in. I will store these vertically in kind of in a cart that I can roll into the closet when I'm not using it. And I'm not going to do a fine woodworking approach on that. I think I'm going to do good old pocket hole joinery and just make it a kind of a shop grade fixture that I can just store these things when I'm not using them. In addition, I've made some other fixtures for the table. Here I'm showing a couple of card holders that I made. I've made 4 in total. 2 of the smaller ones that are perfect for 4 cards across, and the larger one is good for 5. I just built these out of scrap wood that I had laying around, and I think they turned out great, and they actually work. And I put felt underneath so that this just glides around the table anywhere I want to put it. In fact, everything that I put on this table, including the second level, it's backed up with felt so that there's no wood-on-wood contact between the various moving parts. And finally, I made some more cup holders for the table, as you see on the mounting rails that I've got along the sides. For those of you that have been following the channel, you know I asked for votes on which generals I should use for my next cup holders. And so I had 3 people vote. No one general got more than a single vote. So basically, it turned out that it was pretty much up to me. So I decided to go with Uncle Dan Sickles. If you ever watch Ranger Matt at the Gettysburg National Military Park, he's one of the full-time park rangers. He gives excellent presentations, and he referred to him as Uncle Dan, and so I think I can go ahead and do that too. So I just could not resist having Uncle Dan Sickles as being one of the generals for my table. The other one that I'm going to do a James Longstreet. I just got to. How do you not do a Longstreet? And on the right you see a more conventional cup holder that can be used for just about any kind of beverage that's not in a big tumbler or a wine glass. So I think between these 2 styles of holders, I am good to go. And so now it's time to think about what real stuff I'm going to do for the channel. And I'm going to start off with that gameplay example for Sprue and Sleater. I think I have some things to say there, and I would just love to demonstrate that game to you guys. And then we'll just kind of go from there. There's a lot of stuff that's come out just recently. I could go ahead and do some of the new stuff, or I could circle back and do some older stuff. I haven't decided yet what to do, but I think we'll go ahead and start with Spruance, and we will go from there. All right, I think that's enough for the table. You'll be seeing this at various points in the future actually being used, and that's cool. So for now, if you have subscribed to the channel, I say thank you to each and every one of you guys. And if you haven't, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you can see what we're doing. Hit the notification bell, give me a thumbs up, give me a comment, and let's start having some fun with this new year that we have. Thank you so much, everybody. So this is Paul, the Oaken Knight, wishing you all a pleasant evening.